Hi guys! Today is our first episode of Coffee with a Composer. I've got my coffee in my favorite dragon mug, and I encourage you to find something too. A glass of milk, some water, maybe some hot cocoa, some tea, whatever, that you can sip on while you're listening to this. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite Baroque composers, Antonio Vivaldi. He's written a lot of amazing music that many of you have heard, but didn't realize it was his music. One of those pieces that's used a lot is called the Four Seasons. It's a series of 12 different pieces of music that represent the 4 seasons of the year. The first 3 movements are all about spring, the next 3 are all about summer, the 3 after that about autumn, and the final 3 are all about winter. I really like to listen to the 4 seasons when I'm stressed out, and it usually makes me feel better.
Antonio Lucio Vivaldi was born in 1678 in Venice, Italy. His father, Giovanni Battista, was a professional violinist and taught Antonio from a young age. At the age of 15, however, he began to train for the priesthood and was ordained 10 years later in 1703. Due to his distinctive red hair, he earned the nickname the Red Priest. Also in 1703, he was appointed the violin master at the Ospedale della Pieta, a home for foundlings. He spent much of his career working with the Pieta. Soon after becoming a priest, Vivaldi gave up celebrating Mass because of a chronic breathing issue. Vivaldi's sacred vocal music first appeared in 1713 when the choirmaster at that same Pieta left his post and they had to look to new composers. The very same year, Vivaldi's first opera was produced. Between the years 1718 and 1720, he worked in Mantua for the city's governor as director of secular music. This was the only full-time post Vivaldi ever held. While in Mantua, he primarily wrote operas, although he composed cantatas and instrumental works. It is probable that he composed the 4 seasons during this time. The 1720s were the pinnacle of Vivaldi's musical career, which began to decline in the 1730s. By the time he died at the age of 63, he was probably quite poor based on his funeral service. After Vivaldi's death, his enormous collection of musical manuscripts, consisting mainly of autograph scores of his own works, was bound into 27 large volumes. In terms of instrumental music, almost 500 concerti by Vivaldi survive. Vivaldi perfected the 3-movement concerto during his lifetime. He was a key composer in establishing the classical fast-slow-fast plan of the concerto's 3 movements. Additionally, Vivaldi left more than 90 sonatas, mainly for stringed instruments. In terms of vocal music, more than 50 sacred vocal compositions by Vivaldi are left. Roughly 50 operas have been identified, and 16 of them are complete. There are nearly 40 cantatas remaining that Vivaldi wrote during his life that make up the bulk of vocal music that we hear today.
Today we're going to listen to the last movement of Summer. It's a portrayal of a rainstorm and thunder, and I love it. It's one of my absolute favorites. Let's have a listen. that's it for today's episode of Coffee with a Composer. See you next time.